What's up, everyone? Thralls here once again. I'm Necrotic Nick.
I'm Jammin John.
And we are back with a live show review. I haven't done one of these in a while because kind of that period in December and January is a bit of a dry spell as far as shows around here. But we finally got one, and it was a solid one.
Mm-hmm.
So we went up to Royal Oak, Michigan, to the Royal Oak Music Hall, which is a fantastic venue, to go see Opeth and Graveyard. Longtime Opeth fans here.
Yeah.
So, had to jump at the chance. Never been to this venue before, at least personally. He has.
Yep.
Honestly, walking in, this is just kind of a window in a time. It's a really awesome concert hall. Great acoustics. Very nice. It's just a very nice venue.
Yeah, it's aesthetically pleasing.
So we got there in time to see Graveyard. I've been wanting to see this band for a while since I missed them when they were touring with Clutch and Mastodon back in 2015, I believe. And they were incredible. This is like a very throwback 70s rock.
Yeah, Sabbath, Deep Purple, just like I don't know, it had kind of a stoner feel to it. It was
bluesy.
It was definitely bluesy. There was a lot of blues influence in Graveyard.
Oh, yeah. Both of their guitars were like hollow bodies, too. Like, they just went with this old classic sound, like orange amps on the sides there, and just kind of a really stripped-down performance. But, man, just a lot of feel to their music. It's just excellent. I have all their albums. I've been listening to these guys for years, and they're definitely kind of part of this whole retro rock movement that includes like bands like Rival Sons and one that I reviewed recently called Stew. And it just works. It's an awesome, cool throwback, but it still feels very fresh and interesting. Vocally, they were awesome.
Yeah,
I thought they were awesome. I thought it was just one guy that did all the vocals. Turns out there was another one, the bassist.
It took them a minute to get the sound dialed in. I remember when they started, you couldn't hear the snare drum at all.
Dude, the bass was up.
Yeah,
the bass was super, but it really worked. It filled out the sound. It was heavy.
The bass was so far up, it rattled my balls a couple times. So
I compared it like someone when they drove by with a big system, they kind of just rattle everything around them. It was that high. But it really kind of just worked with the set. Like, you kind of got used to it. It was like, yeah, this is just going to be bassy, and they were really good. They executed their sound really well. Solid set. They actually had a bit of a longer set since there's only two bands on the bill.
I think they played like 45 minutes, maybe. 45 minutes to an hour they played.
Yeah. Killer set. Definitely recommend checking them out. We're going to go see a different Graveyard at MDF. There's a more death metal version, I believe, that's from Spain. Totally unlike this one. So, Opeth comes on. And Jesus Christ, they're amazing. It's important to note that Michael Ackerfeld was actually sick on this tour.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. He still sounded brilliant. But he took the time to tell everyone that, I'm sorry, my voice is fucked. And I noticed he broke a couple of times when doing some of the higher parts on, Dignity, which was the track they opened up with, which fucking amazing live. I
don't know, it's like I was telling somebody earlier, though, it wasn't a bad enough of a break where if you're not a hardcore Opeth fan and aren't, note for note following along the song, you're not really going to notice, because even his breaks were not that bad. I noticed them on a couple high pitches, but I mean, like, when they did Moon, Sun, Below, I think.
Yeah, something like it's off of Pale Communion.
Pale Communion. When he did that song, he mentioned, like, even when I'm not sick, these notes are hard to hit. So, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it was just a few little flubs. But the real interesting thing I thought that happened was Frederick stepped up on vocals. And I had no idea. That dude is an incredible singer.
Yeah, I had no idea either. They made it work.
Oh, my God. I've seen Opeth 3 times now, and both those previous 2 times...
Twice.
I've never seen, actually, Frederick with a mic stand in front of him.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, he's belting out all the higher stuff and really helping out Michael and the keyboardist, whose name I can't remember or probably pronounce.
Dude, the keyboardist vocals are on point, too.
Oh, dude, he harmonizes so well. Like, the vocal harmonies in that band are just disgustingly good.
They sounded really tight.
Yeah.
Especially for a band that's been around for so long, whom are obviously advancing in age, like, they sounded more on point than most bands I've seen live.
I mean, they're consummate professionals. The set was really interesting. Went through some of the newer stuff. In fact, the first 2 tracks were off of the last one, Incata Venenum. and they played, the 2 lead-off singles, which I thought were great. It's interesting to note that they went with the Swedish versions, so all the lyrics were in Swedish on those. And when they moved into older territory, they seemed very selective about it. They played a little bit off of Damnation, and they played a little bit off of Ghost Reveries, though it really wasn't one of the bigger songs. It was Harlequin Forest, I believe, which is a really good song, and it's kind of limited on the growls. We were kind of hoping for, like, Grand Conjuration, Bang of the Hounds.
So, of course, because he's not feeling well, they took, like, stops between songs, which, when I've seen Opeth in the past, sometimes they'll just lead into other songs without really saying anything. But I think because he wasn't feeling well, he engaged the crowd a little bit more.
It was hilarious.
And at one point in the show, he said something that the crowd was talking back and forth with him. And someone said something about song requests, and of course he said, well, what would you like to hear? And like the whole place lit up. It was close to sold out.
Yeah. Everyone yelling a different song title.
Everyone yelling a different song title, but he was like, we could do Ghost of Perdition. And he goes to start it, and he goes, but I'm not in the right key. And so then he...
I could play it, but it would sound like shit.
Yeah, so then he proceeded to play the riff in the wrong key, just to prove to everybody how much shit it would sound like.
Yeah.
So I was all excited. We were close. I thought we were going to get Ghost of Perdition, and I was really, really...
I was really impressed they did Lotus Eater. I've never heard them do that song live, and Watershed is one of my absolute favorite albums by them. And that song is just insane how it's written. It's a gorgeous song if you've never heard it.
Yeah.
If you're an Opeth fan, there's a good chance you've heard it. And I like the fact that they closed, quote-unquote, the set with the last song, I think All Things Shall Pass. I think that's the title of it, on the Incata, which I think is one of the best songs on that album. It almost has like an epic Pink Floyd sort of vibe to it. But they did come back on for some encores. And I was surprised there were 2 encores.
I'm so excited.
So the first encore was Sorceress, which I've grown to really like that song. It's a kind of just a chuggy banger of a song.
Yeah,
and it's a little bit more simple than a lot of their other stuff. It's not as complex.
I mean, I can't say I can jump on board with everything, all that is new Opeth, because I'm such a fan of Watershed and Damnation and Blackwater Park and Ghost Reveries, and I'm such a fan of his death growl. Just the lowest registered growl out there, I think. And the music was a lot more entertaining to me than the soft stage it's in. But
we did get our second encore, and that was Deliverance. Deliverance is quite possibly my favorite Opeth song. Deliverance was my first Opeth album.
Mine too.
Hearing that 13-minute and 36-second masterpiece live was incredible.
And the sound was dialed in, and the guy that's doing their lights on this tour needs a raise.
Yeah. I love the whole stage setup was awesome. The giant LED screen back there
and then the ones behind him on the stage too. Like it was really neat.
And there was also like a GoPro cam on Michael, so occasionally his image would be projected on that screen.
But there would be like rain over top of it or something. It was really cool.
Or like the universe spinning behind him, because he is the center of Opeth's universe. But it was an absolutely amazing show. I mean, honestly, of course I could nitpick the set list. There were songs I always want to hear, but they have so many songs they can play, and like 99.9% of them are brilliant. Yeah. So I really can't complain, because we got an amazing show.
Yeah, and a good set, like you said. You could nitpick it, but really, it's not like we got a bunch of shit songs. I mean, that's hard to do with Opeth. So
didn't get any merch this time. I didn't see anything that really appealed to me, and I got a lot of black T-shirts anyway.
It was a little pricey, actually, I thought. And a very limited selection. There wasn't a whole, for being like the 5th or 6th city on the tour, because I know it's fresh on, like there wasn't a whole lot to choose from. I almost bought a $60 hoodie. I had to really talk myself out of that.
$60 for a hoodie is a little pricey.
Well,
we got other shows
coming up,
so don't worry, there's going to be more videos about different bands. And the next show we have on our docket is coming up on Wednesday, which is Vader, Vitriol, Abysmal Dawn, Hideous Divinity, and I think that's it. There might be another band.
Hate Unbound from Detroit.
Oh yeah, Hate Unbound from Detroit.
Yep.
So yeah, we got other shows. There's tons more merch coming, I'm sure. I'm going to have to get Vader something because it's fucking Vader.
Yeah, I mean, right, I have Vader something, but I'll take Vader another something.
Yeah,
so.
totally. So yeah, plenty more live shows coming up. Plenty more, places to get more merch and shit. So yeah, tons of these videos coming. So if you like this one, give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe. Because if you subscribe, you're entered in our Cryptopsy Hoodie Giveaway. Once we hit 1,000 subs, we're giving that hoodie to one of you lucky subs. So yeah, there's incentive. Catch you guys later.
Later.